Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Tuesday, June the 8th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Trading is part science and part art, part two. These videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine. Yesterday, we started this talk about trading being part science and part art. So today, I thought maybe we'd look at a chart, maybe spend a little bit of time on it. This is a chart I put up, and a couple of people they wanted the template, and they had some questions, so I thought I might discuss it. This is using TROHL5. In fact, it looks like I've got 3 copies, so let's take a look at what each copy is doing here. So this one, we've got the ATR chart period set to a day. Now we've got the chart period is set to a day. We're using 1 bar, the current bar, so shift is 0. And we are showing high and low for the day. So that's what that one particular instance is doing. So we've got a second instance here. And what are we showing? We are going to show the high and the low, but also we're going to show the top and the bottom of the previous day. And now and you can see it says shade wick zone true. So we're going to shade the wick zone. And then in the final one, we're going to show close is true. And we've got the period is 1 day, 1 bar, shift. So actually there was one of these, I guess I didn't say, I didn't show high, low. There's one of these that should be showing, must be this one. Show top bottom is true. So this one I should probably put in a label, wick zone. And this one here, the close is showing the ATR from the open. So right there you can see ATR percent. And this one is showing the high-low offset of 20. So this one I should label rat zone. So we just have the notes, so when you open up the different versions of the indicator, you know what you're working with. So that's how you do that. And remember, each instance, you have to have a different number. So we have the rat zone and we have the wick zone overlaid. So here, if we turn off the rat zone, you can see we've got the wick zone from yesterday, the high, the candle top, the candle bottom, and the low. So it's showing the wick zone. And then if you overlay the rat zone, you can see how almost today they're almost a perfect overlay. But what I was trying to show traders is that when when the day starts, so when the day started, you're starting right at the edge of a wick zone usually, because price usually um, opens right about where it closes. But you can see here there is a tiny gap up, not much of one, but just a tiny gap up on this open price here. It opened at 76.6, and you see the actually closed at 75.4. So it opened in that upper wick zone. And so between here and here is the upper wick zone, 89.6 to 75.4. Price went into it and then came out of it. So the trader was looking, he was doing a rat zone trade, but at this point in time in here, there hasn't been enough range to do the rat zone. So see, this is where the science comes in and the art comes in. Because you see, from a science standpoint, we don't have enough distance, so we don't trade the rat zone. But the science also says we're in the upper wick zone from the previous day, so we want to take breakouts either to the south, which would look like a rat zone reversal, or to the north, which would just be a simple wick zone breakout. And then price came down here and it formed a lower rat zone, and it's also happens to be in the lower wick zone the previous day. So right now, and because of just where the bottom is 20 pips off of the low, and the rat zone is going to be 20 pips. You've got the edge here of the wick zone and the rat zone matching up. So somebody taking this trade, they can take it as a rat zone trade, or they could actually take it as a wick zone trade. And it's just funny it happened today, so I guess my timing was right to discuss this. But on other days, they, in the beginning, either the upper or lower wick zone is going to start to line up with the rat zone. But remember, for a rat zone trade, you want about 60 pips. Okay, now, and that's just part of understanding. Once again, it's the science. So you start to trade the wick zone, and then as price expands, if you want to trade the reversal, you can trade the rat zone, because if price came way down here, the rat zone top could be below the wick zone low here. So that's a possibility. We only have 63 pips on the day right now. So there's not much range happening. So there could be a breakout. So we might stay tuned for that. Now ATR, right now minus 36% ATR, and I use ATR 14. So we know that the close is a minus 37 ATR from the open, from the daily open, which is right here. So rather than display this in pips, I display it in ATR percent. Why? Because a lot of times price will go to about the 50% level in reverse, and you can see we've got the 100% level, open plus, open minus. A lot of times ATR will go to about open plus 50 and reverse, or open minus 50 and start reversing. So as you can see here, let's see. I don't know if a pip is quite worth an ATR or not, but I would imagine down here it was pretty close to 50. Because we're 31 pips off the open, and we're 35, 36 ATR. So if you add another 20, I would say it was about a 50 pip or 50% ATR move, and it reversed. So that's part science, but you put it all together, and that's where the art comes in. What is art? you're creating something out of nothing, right? And a lot of times you're putting things together. So the way you put together your methods, that's part of the art. But each method is probably science derived. So that's why, once again, trading is part art and part science. So if you have any more questions on this, feel free to ask. I prefer you ask on social media, either in the YouTube or Crestlet or on the my Facebook group. That way, people can more traders can benefit from the Q&A. And of course, I've got the old standard 3-level ZZ indicator on there, just marking, basically inflection points, highs and lows, 5 period, 13 period, and 34 period, based on how price moves at these line or at these levels. Simple, the highest low, lowest high. And once again, that too is in TRO HL5. You can just select the highest close, lowest close, true, highest low, lowest high, true. Well, people wonder, why didn't you do highest open, lowest open for the holo? I've already written a holo indicator and I wanted to use close. And usually, because of the way Forex is, the close is usually the open. So like you can see right here, the close, pretty much the open. And then where's this one? Highest, that's the highest. M5, highest close. That's weird. Oh, right here, highest close. You can see that open was a tad bit higher. But you could still use it the same way. So usually looking to see if price tests this level and falls through, then you might want to take the trade to the south, selling here at the 49, almost 50 line, psychological 50. And then here, I think I got in on a psychological 25 trade to the north one time on the pound. Back to the wall mall lines. There's still traders out there that haven't mastered the wall mall method, and they're still switching back and forth across, a couple of instruments. Oh, I'll trade this for a while, then I'll trade that for a while. That's like trying to learn to play football, and then you're going to go play baseball. I mean, you need to stick with one thing. Yeah, it's all trading, but or trading. Maybe you're playing softball and trading baseball. The games look similar, but there's some different strategies and slightly different rules. So, and then wanting to use different candle styles, and it's like you've got to learn the method. You've got to master the method before you start changing it. And then, moving the lines. Well, unless you've run the frequency distributions, you don't know where to put the lines. You don't know if the 10 lines work for some other instrument. Maybe they should be 5. Maybe they should be 20. I don't know. You have to run the statistics. So, and I'm beating up on a buddy a little bit here. I'm not going to call him out by name, but he knows who he is. I wish him all the best, but sometimes he's his own worst enemy, and he'll agree. But that's just part of brain management. It's just sticking with the method till you master it instead of changing things because you're not being successful. You're not being successful because you haven't mastered the method. So, fellow traders, that's going to wrap up part 2 of trading is part art, or part science, part art. So, remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So, go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.